Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since my last video. I've been having a lot go on lately. I don't want to bore y'all with all the details because I know not a lot of y'all aren't here for that. But I have been doing a lot, working on a lot behind the scenes. Got a brand new camera. I mean, I'm sure you can probably tell the quality probably looks a lot better. I'm working on trying different little positions where I want to be in my videos. And I've really been trying to work on a bunch of ideas at once. I think that's really what's kind of slowing me down here a bit. There's a couple things that are going to be changing for me personally here, so I'm also anticipating a lot of things with that. I still have been going out and getting games and figures and all kind of things to add to my room. New games, retro games, everything. For this video I wanted to do something a little different. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about game of the year here and there. But what I wanted to start here with this video is a 3-part series. I wanted to go over my personal games of the year. I guess we can call it my games of the year over the years. And I'm going to do one game for each year that I've been alive. So that's going to be from 1989 all the way up into 2019. And obviously for 2019 I can't pick the game of the year. So I'll just pick I'll just talk about a few games that I'm playing mostly, or my favorite game up to that point. I've put a bit of effort into this video and this little series, so I hope y'all enjoy it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a side-scrolling platform game that was released by Konami on the NES in 1989. It was one of the first games based off of the Ninja Turtle. Pretty much the plot of the game was just you can pick one of the 4 turtles, you can switch between them at any time by pausing the game, but you pick one of the turtles and you gotta save April and Splinter, and you're actually trying to stop Shredder and get a gun to turn Splinter back into a human. It is a single player game and the plot may seem pretty simple, but the levels are hard as hell. It's really tough. You're going to be fighting Mousers, you're going to be fighting the Foot Clan, you're going to be fighting these little flying things, and there's just all kind of creatures. They got these giant toads that hop all over the place, and you do get to see a lot of iconic enemies like Bebop and Rocksteady. You see the Mecha Turtle, you see the giant Mouser, you see Shredder, of course. Now this game does have 2 different gameplay looks. When you're out in the overworld, like in the city, it's a top-down overview, kind of like old school Grand Theft Auto. And then when you actually go into the sewers or in buildings or in the levels and stuff like that, it turns into a 2D side-scrolling style game. And like I said, it's a really tough game. I've only beaten it about 2 times in my entire life, and the game's been out for 30 years now. But that's going to be my pick for 1989. Nintendo released Super Mario Bros. 3 in 1990. Well, actually in Japan it came out in 1988, and about a year and a half later we got it in 1990. But regardless, the game was a lot of fun. I believe this was the first Mario game that actually gave that board game feel whenever you're picking levels and stuff like that. I like the fact that you didn't have to go to the next level. Like you could jump to whatever level you really wanted to if you can work your way around it. It had a lot of different secrets in the games. There's all kind of items to find, and there's cool little things where you can use a whistle to just skip a whole level if you wanted to, and if you did it right, you can actually skip to the last level of the game within like 10 minutes. But regardless, the game was a blast. It's one of the best-selling games on the NES. I want to say it was like the 3rd. Sold somewhere around 17 million copies. And the game's pretty much been re-released on every Nintendo console that's been put out after that. I mean, the game's that good that it can keep getting put out and people will keep buying it. Definitely my pick for 1990. In 1991, Sega released one of my all-time favorite beat-em-up series, and that's going to be Streets of Rage. You get the option to choose between one of 3 fighters. You got Adam, Axel, and Blaze. And the story is that there's a crazy criminal syndicate that's trying to take over the city, led by a man named Mr. X. And the whole objective is to make your way through 8 levels and end up beating him at the end. The game's got pretty simple mechanics. You can jump, you can punch and kick, and you can also use a special ability where you call in the police, and they usually send something where they shoot like a rocket launcher or like a little Gatling gun or something. The game actually spawned off 2 sequels, which we're getting a 4th one hopefully sometime this year. But either way, Streets of Rage 1 is going to be my choice for 1991. Now 1992 was a little bit of a harder one for me to pick because there's 2 games that I actually really love, and I'm just going to have to go ahead and give both of them here. The first one I'm going to go ahead and just say is Streets of Rage 2. The first one was 1991 and the second one came out in 92, and the second one just blew me away. It is my favorite out of all 3 of them, and I can't get enough of the game. I still play it to this day. I beat it at least twice a year. I love playing it. It's an easy game. I mean, you can make it hard, but I'm obsessed with it. I love it. It's my favorite beat 'em up. And in the other game, I mean, this should be everybody's game of the year for '92, and that's The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I mean, I can't really say much about this game that people don't already know. If you've never played it, pick it up. Try it, play it. You're gonna love it. It's an amazing old school traditional Zelda game, and I mean, there's so many levels to play. There's so much to do in it. So many secrets to find. All kind of heart pieces, all kind of items to get, and weapons, and it's a lot of fun. There's a bunch of cool little conversations you can have in the game with different characters, and I don't know, I had a blast with the game. And it'd be really cool for them to like maybe revamp it or something. That'd be really awesome. I can't choose between Zelda and Streets of Rage, so I'm gonna go ahead and say 1992 goes to both Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past and Streets of Rage 2. So my pick for 1993 actually has a cool little backstory to it. Originally, the creators were working on this game to make a port of a Super Nintendo game over to the Game Boy, but in the process of it, they decided to just scrap that idea and make a whole new game itself, and I'm glad they did because it became my favorite game of '93, and that's The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. It's a little bit different than the regular Zelda games or the ones that we were used to playing at the time. This one we can choose to change our weapons between A and B. So it's cool, you didn't have to have your sword equipped if you didn't want to. I mean, obviously your sword's going to be used a lot, but say if you wanted to have your bombs and like a cape on at the same time to jump around and drop bombs, you can go ahead and do that. The game was, for me back then, a little bit more challenging than the average Zelda game. Obviously other than Zelda 2. But I still had a lot of fun with it. I loved it a lot. And I was really happy when they re-released it on Game Boy Color with the XD version. But that's definitely going to be my pick for 1993. 1994 was a pretty easy one for me to pick, and it was hands down Super Metroid. I remember I ended up getting this game on accident from a friend because I was trading him one of my games for his game. I don't remember what game I was trading him. I want to say it was Donkey Kong Country 2, and I was supposed to be getting Killer Instinct in return. But when he showed up to my house, he had this game that I've never heard of before, and it was Super Metroid. At the time, I had never played Metroid on the NES, or I never played, Return to Samus or Metroid 2, and so I was actually really upset because I wanted Killer Instinct. It was like a really awesome fighting game for me at the time. Well, I decided to pop this thing in. I started playing, and I was just blown away. I've never played any kind of game like that at the time. I mean, I had never picked up a Castlevania or at that time and played it or anything like that. But I fell in love with it. Me and my buddy down the street, Corey, we were obsessed with it. We had to find every little secret of the game. We came up with our own little stories to it, and it was a blast. But yeah, other than that, I mean, the game was great. There's a lot of exploration to do, and I'm not sure if I said it already, but it is a 2D side-scrolling adventure game. And there's a lot of power-ups you can get. There's different suits you get, so that way you can travel to certain parts of the map that you weren't able to go to earlier on in the game. Say like certain areas are way too hot for your body to handle, so you don't have the proper suit right then and there. Once you progress to a certain point in the game, you end up getting an upgrade for your suit, then you end up having to go back so you can survive that hazards. And I just thought it was a really cool formula because I've never played anything like that before, and I really liked it. So yeah, Super Metroid is going to be my choice for 1994. Earthbound is easily the game of 1995. I mean, this game is just absolutely freaking amazing. I love everything about it. I love the characters, I love the music, I love the graphics. I love the whole design of the game. The only thing I would change is not having that first person view in the battling part. But other than that, I love everything about it. The game's so goofy, it makes me smile, it makes me laugh, and it just tugs at your emotions at the right times, the perfect way. I'm really hoping we can get this game put onto the Switch. If not, I mean, I've got an NES Classic regardless, I can still play it, but I would love to have it on the go. We need Mother 3. Please, Nintendo, give us Mother 3. Mortal Kombat Trilogy is going to be my pick for 1996. it was one of the coolest fighting games then. I mean, you had every single Mortal Kombat character that was created at that point shoved into one game. I want to say it was like 32 characters you can play as, and it was just a lot of fun. Just traditional side-scrolling Mortal Kombat, death and killing and blood and ripping each other apart. It was always a blast. Me and my friends had a lot of fun playing these games. I mean, it could have been on the PlayStation 1 or the Nintendo 64. Either way, back then we didn't care what console it was on. As long as we had the game to play, it was a blast. I mean, back then to have all those characters on one game, it blew everybody's mind. It was just really, really cool for them to take Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3's characters and just put them all into one game for us to have. But yeah, easily my 1996 choice is going to be Mortal Kombat Trilogy, either for the Nintendo 64 or the PlayStation 1. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is going to be my choice for 1997 because it's another game that's kind of like Super Metroid. It was just crazy to play a game like that at the time. I was really obsessed with vampires and the fact that you get to play as Dracula's son and just go through Dracula's castle and fight death and all these zombies and skeletons and all these just different crazy things, and you're able to go anywhere in the castle you wanted to, and I thought that was really cool for a game to not really like hold your hand and tell you where you go and, oh well, you beat level 1 so it's now level 2 and then 3. No, you got to free roam however you want to an extent where until you found the weapon you needed to unlock the next part, then you can go there. But in this game you got all these abilities. You can turn mist, you can turn into bats to fly, and you got this really awesome sword, like this, all kind of different things, and it had a very strong RPG element to it. You leveled up, and there was so much to do in the game, and it was a lot of fun. But I remember there being one part at the end of the game, and I thought it was done, and everything just reversed, like just mirrored on me, and that's when I was like, man, this game's amazing. But yeah, if you haven't tried it, go ahead and pick that up. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is my choice in 1997. Now come on, man, y'all know me. Y'all know who I am, y'all know what I love. 1998. Come on, that's an easy one. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. That is the greatest game ever made. And I love it so much. There was no other game like it back then when I played it. I remember, it's funny because I didn't even want the game. Me and my brother went to the video store and my mom let us both pick out our own game. I ended up getting, I can't even remember what game I picked out at the time, but my brother saw this gold box and he saw a sword and a shield on it. He thought it looked cool, so he grabbed it. I knew what Zelda was at the time, but I liked Zelda games, but I wasn't obsessed or it wasn't like a series that I was invested in at the time. But he brought the game home, he started playing it, and he didn't like it. It wasn't really the style of game he was into. He liked 007 GoldenEye a lot. So he was more into like the shooting type games. And this one was just a little I guess too much for him at that age. Well, when I started playing and I picked it up, I instantly fell in love with it. Everything about the game just called out to me and just held on to me, and it hasn't let go since. I mean, it's been over 20 years since the game came out and I'm still playing it. I still play it at least once a year, and I can beat the game overnight, like no joke. Even the Water Temple. Everybody says the Water Temple's hard. That thing's a joke. But yeah, hands down, Ocarina of Time is my game for 1998. And my final game on this list for 1999 is going to be Resident Evil 3. I have always been a fan of the Resident Evil games, and actually Resident Evil 3 was the first one I got to play. I got to play it as a demo because I want to say my neighbor across the street had Dino Crisis for the PlayStation. She gave me the demo for Resident Evil 3, and I played it, and I was fucking terrified. I remember having issues trying to sleep as a kid, just thinking, man, like... just the zombies coming at you in the middle of the night, or Nemesis chasing you down with his giant ass rocket launcher. Kind of stuff, it just freaked me out, man. But I loved it. I kept going back for more. Even though it was just a demo, the cool thing about it was a demo that never ended. The game was so much fun to me, and I don't know, I got this weird sick side of me that likes to get scared here and there. Maybe it's to let me know I'm still alive. But I really hope we get a a remake of it or reimagining like we did with Resident Evil 2, because that game was amazing, and I'm actually still playing through it right now. But yeah, Resident Evil 3 is easily going to be my game for 1999. I hope y'all enjoy that. Now, there's a few more games I kind of want to give a little spotlight to. I figured I'd throw up a little runners-up thing at the end of this video, just to kind of show some other games that I did enjoy from those years, because, I mean, when I originally wanted to do this, I didn't think it was going to be this hard to come up with all these games. But yeah, I'm glad you guys watched the video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. If you like what you saw, go ahead and like the video, leave a comment down below, and let me know what your guys' games of the years are. That's going to be it for this one. Sir Spuot out.